Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star episode number 277 based on novel. So let's start. Give Cho Kai K the talisman? Gold Kang and the others exchanged glances. If this talisman were to be handed to Cho Kai K, it would be hard to get it back. HMPH. Cho Kai K snorted as he saw what happened, mocking, "You are all warriors too. You want the treasure, yet you are afraid to pass me the talisman. Ha ha, everything must be perfect in your world. I have no ability to forcefully take it from you all anyway, we'll just have no way to open the room then." Gold Kang roared, "Purple Clock, go and give it a shot. See if you can open the door." Purple Clock felt unhappy within, however he still nodded, "Okay." The rest of them stood by the side. Purple Clock walked towards the gold door and touched it with both hands, trying to push it, pouring his undying energy in. After which, he used the talisman to press against the door, trying many ways to open it. He frowned as he tried. He had failed over and over. This made Gold Kang's expression grow ugly. He looked at Cho Kai K, who stood smiling coldly at the scene, mocking, "Trying to get the treasure without me. What a dream. Keep trying, you must be dreaming if you think you can open it." Cho Kai K mocked and laughed openly, as everyone heard it. "Shut up!" Gold Kang roared. Cho Kai K shot a glance at him and went silent. Gold Kang turned to look at Purple Clock and roared, "Forget it." Purple Clock was incredibly unhappy within, but he obediently walked back and said, "Looks like only an indigenous Yangji can open this inheritance room. Cho Kai K, you are an emperor too. Don't be stupid, and try any tricks." Gold Kang roared. Cho Kai K simply shot him a glance and remained silent. "Give it to me." Gold Kang tossed out a talisman to him. Cho Kai K extended his hand, received the translucent talisman. His hands were shaking from the excitement. He sent in his spirit energy for it to recognize him as its owner, and it melded with his skin. His eyes were wet as he howled within, "My clansmen, I've finally received the talisman." After that he successfully melded with it, the entire tower seemed to connect to him. "Master." A voice communicated mentally with Cho Kai K. "Tower," he said excitedly. Yes, the tower was a movable survival base, just like a space fortress. It had its own AI. The AI could control the entire tower. Different levels of Yangji people had different levels of authority within. The normal residents and undyings with the talisman had higher authorities. Cho Kai K could only do low-level actions within the control room in the past. Now, however, he was the master of the entire tower. Only a Yangji clansman with the talisman could get the recognition of the tower, and only after melding with the talisman would he truly gain control. When the 6 leaders fell before, the tower became useless and was unable to fly. Within the control room, Pui, La Diamo, Men Bu watched the scene, especially after seeing him melding with the talisman. They were incredibly excited. Men Bu even teared a little. Pui, La Diamo, Men Bu, I'm halfway there. A voice resounded within the control room. "Third brother." Pui shouted excitedly. "Elder! Elder!" The other 2 shouted excitedly. "You can communicate with us? I've already become the master of the tower, I can communicate with it mentally. Naturally it can resound within any part of the tower. Right now, I must carry out the most important step. My beloved clansmen, wish me luck. And pray that our fallen race can get its most important inheritance." His voice was filled with excitement and anxiety. Before the treasure room door. "Hurry and open the door." Gold Kang frowned. Luo Feng carefully observed Cho Kai K's actions. However, it was hard to tell just from looking that he had become the master of the tower. "Ha ha ha, how many years has it been? How long have I waited? I'm finally able to get the treasure of our race." He laughed and glanced at Gold Kang. "We are working together, don't get cocky." Gold Kang snorted coldly, looking at Cho Kai K. "I'll let you be arrogant for a while. I am here to open the door." Cho Kai K walked straight to the door. The others quickly followed closely, they didn't dare let there be any distance between them. Cho Kai K clicked his lips and walked unhappily towards the door, and touched it gently. The engravings on the door immediately lit up and reacted. The others seemed excited, but after a while, the door remained shut. "What's going on?" Gold Kang roared. Give me another talisman. Cho Kai K shouted at them, I need 2 talismans to open the door. Why didn't you say so before? Gold Kang frowned. I wasn't a leader back then, and only the 6 leaders knew the secrets of the tower. I only know that the true treasure room must be opened by someone of my race. I only knew this. As to requiring 2 talismans, only the leaders knew that. How could I know about this beforehand? He raged. Back then, this setup was probably to prevent any greedy leader from acting alone. If that's not possible, you can come open the door yourself. He raged. Gold Kang snorted and tossed out the other talisman. Cho Kai K took the talisman. He used both of them to touch the door simultaneously. Tower, lock in the talisman and open the treasure room door. He communicated mentally. Yes, master. The engravings lit up and countless beams of light wrapped about the talismans. After which, the room rumbled as the door began to lift up. This scene made Gold Kang and Purple Clock watch in anticipation. The door is opening. Luo Feng watched on. Cho Kai K rushed in. Trying to get everything? Gold Kang raged, Su! Su! Him and Purple Clock immediately rushed in, while Luo Feng and Piercing Tiger swiftly followed. The entire room was made of G-grade metal, and was filled with countless engravings. 20-meter long, 20-meter wide and 10-meter tall. There were 12 locks on the ground, heavily locking the ancient chest for trillions of years. Treasure chest. Cho Kai K rushed towards it first. He had truly brought the invaders here for the treasure chests, and those chests held within the true treasures. Cho Kai K had never gotten them before. Get out of the way. A lightning bolt hit his body. It was the lightning pike. It smashed hard into Cho Kai K, knocking him into the wall. Gold Kang grabbed the chest hard. Mine. Gold Kang grabbed it hard. The 12 locks bound the chests even tighter, and the engravings on it easily withstood Gold Kang's strength. Ha ha ha, you think you can forcefully take it? Cho Kai K mocked as he lay against the wall. These locks are specially constructed. Even a knight would find it extremely hard to break them. As for you, even if you self-destruct, you won't be able to break them. Idiot. Purple Clock was initially nervous, but he laughed after seeing the scene. Luo Feng and Piercing Tiger relaxed as well. We'll act accordingly. Luo Feng communicated that Cho Kai K would never stupidly bring us here to give us his treasure without getting anything himself. Also, Gold Kang would never willingly share half of the treasure with him. Those two will definitely fight, and the moment that happens, our chance will come. Piercing Tiger agreed. The locks may not be able to break, but the chests can still be opened. Cho Kai K mocked, of course, you definitely can't open it. Open it. Gold Kang roared. You think I'm stupid? The moment I open and pass it to you, what do you think will happen? He jeered at Gold Kang. Gold Kang was simply boiling with rage now as he stared hard at Cho Kai K. He stared back. Cho Kai K laughed, simultaneously sending an order, Tower, close the treasure room door. Yes, master. Rumble. A huge rumble occurred behind them. Luo Feng turned quickly, seeing the raised door suddenly fall and shutting the room completely. What's going on? Gold Kang raged, simultaneously using his lightning pike to pierce at Cho Kai K, pinning him to the wall. Why did the doors suddenly shut? How will we get out? Right, the doors are shut. Cho Kai K exclaimed, how will we get out? I'll give you all a suggestion. He seemed to ponder hard before saying, you can teleport via your god country and leave this room. Everyone's expressions changed. Luo Feng pondered too. Nobody trusted each other here. How could they teleport via their god country? What's more, without the treasure, no one was willing to leave. This move, Cho Kai K had finally revealed his true colors. What's he doing? Luo Feng frowned. Luo Feng, who had the strongest ability to survive naturally, watched the scene calmly. Luo Feng gazed around. This entire room was made of G-grade metals, along with the mysterious engravings. It was impossible to break out. Aboriginal, what are you planning? Gold Kang waved his lightning pike, staring angrily at Cho Kai K. The other emperors looked on coldly at him. Even though they were trapped within, the warriors weren't too worried because they could teleport via their god country out. Only thing was they didn't trust each other and they still wanted to get the treasure. Hence they didn't plan to leave immediately. At this moment, outside the room, Two beams of light swiftly flew over and stopped outside the room. They were the Aboriginals Men Bu and La Di Mo. They looked at the two locked-in talismans on the door, with excitement and pain at the same time. They reached and easily retrieved them. They hesitated for a while as they looked at the room. They knew that their elder was within. Elder! They howled in pain within. Hurry and go. A voice pierced their ears. Hurry and go, we cannot be careless at all with the inheritance. Yes. Men Bu and La Di Mo gritted their teeth and became beams of light leaving the room. Elder, you must survive, you must survive, Men Bu turned and howled as they left. Elder! La Di Mo shouted too. A voice resounded within the walkway. If possible, I would. However, the chances of that are very slim. As long as you can get to the inheritance room and get the treasure there, I will have no regrets. Elder! Elder! The two of them welled up in tears. Within the control room, Pui watched the scene with pain and excitement. This was Cho Kai K's inheritance plan. The entire plan was to get the talismans. The plan was simple: he would show himself and draw the invaders to the treasure room. After which, he would get the talismans and open the room, leaving the talismans on the door. Then he would rush in and pretend to get the treasure. Naturally, the invaders would be drawn in along, and then he would shut the door. The talismans could then be retrieved. With the doors shut, the invaders wouldn't be able to escape. Men Bu and La Di Mo could easily head towards the inheritance room and take its countless treasures away. Two things about the plan required luck. One was that Gold Kang and the others had to trust Cho Kai K and follow him to the room. Secondly, it was whether they would rush into the room along with him, and whether they'd notice the talismans stuck to the door outside. If they requested for it to be taken down, Cho Kai K could secretly order the door to shut, saying that the doors required the talismans to be stuck on it or it would simply shut. All in all, there were several risks. He was the first to rush into the room, putting himself in danger. This was the most important part of the mission. If he didn't enter or rushed out immediately, the others would naturally follow him and he wouldn't be able to lock them in. That would affect the plan. Third brother. Pui shouted in pain, you could have chosen not to enter the room. If I don't enter, they won't enter either. And if they don't enter, Men Bu and the others won't be able to get the talismans easily, the plan would be for naught. Cho Kai K's voice resounded within the control room. Everything is for the race. Everything for the race. Pui nodded. Of the three treasure rooms, the first one held the least treasures. The second room had more treasures within. As for the third one, it had countless techniques and inheritance treasures for the entire race. It was the true inheritance. The inheritance room was the most important of the three. Cho Kai K couldn't allow any failure, hence the one he entered was naturally the second room. Within the room. What am I doing? Pinned against the wall, he smiled at Gold Kang. Invaders, why don't you guess what I'm doing? Playing with me. Gold Kang's voice rumbled. Luo Feng frowned at Cho Kai K. He had felt something amiss all this while, almost like victory was in Cho Kai K's hands. Speak, how do we open the chest? Gold Kang pointed at the ancient chest bound by 12 locks, ha ha. Cho Kai K laughed weirdly at him. Do you wish to die? Gold Kang was very angry now as he roared. Smart. Cho Kai K simply looked at him and said softly, I wish to die. The others beside him were all stunned. They looked on with disbelief at this aboriginal. I wish to die. Do you understand? I've lived for far too long, and I've been in pain for too long. When my race faced extinction back then, I've been struggling for so long, I'm too tired. Now it's time to end it. His eyes seemed relaxed. I may even take a couple of other race emperors with me, ha ha, how exciting is this? Not good. This aboriginal is mad. Purple Clock and Piercing Tiger were stunned. This aboriginal was a pinnacle emperor too. If he self-destructed, Gold Kang may be fine, but the two of them would be in trouble. We've finally got the inheritance. He closed his eyes and smiled. I've done my part. Marsha. My love, when you fell back then, I wanted to accompany you, but I couldn't. Now, however, I can follow you into eternal sleep. He closed his eyes and smiled widely, after which powerful ripples began to emanate from his body. No. Pui was watching the projection in the control room all this while. He howled painfully, no, third brother, don't do this. Two beams of light flew into the control room. It was La Dimo and Men Bu who had just acquired the inheritance. They watched the projection and were stunned. Elder. No. Within the treasure room. No. Piercing Tiger opened his eyes and fiercely banged hard at the wall, however the walls were too sturdy. Madman, madman, madman. Purple Clock gritted his teeth and cursed madly. What a madman. Gold Kang simply snorted and stood there. Luo Feng wrapped himself in his wings and said, I don't know if I can withstand this. Cho Kai K maintained his smile as terrifying energy started to explode from within. He closed his eyes. Rumble, every cell in his body instantly exploded with terrifying energy. Trillions of years of undying energy began to erupt. Rumble, an explosion akin to 1,000,000 sector lords combining their attacks filled the entire room. The room was only that big. So, there was nowhere to hide. I cannot die? Piercing Tiger howled. Purple Clock snorted as a purple clock image appeared on his body. Luo Feng wrapped himself. Gold Kang simply stood and stared coldly. The powerful force instantly engulfed the four warriors. At this time, Piercing Tiger and Purple Clock fought hard. Rumble. The final force which passed through the Showu wings and general armor still managed to make his cloud contact armor crumble. Its sturdiness was akin to a low emperor human, and normal high emperors wouldn't even be able to break through it. Completely crumbling meant the difference was huge. Rumble. The remaining force shook his body hard, instantly destroying 80% of his body. However, it swiftly recovered. Without the Showu wings and general armor, Gold Kang, Purple Clock and Piercing Tiger were completely different. Gold Kang stood there coldly, his body instantly crumbling from the force. However, he reformed right after with the same cold expression, staring at the other three. The tragedy was just as bad in the control room. The three aboriginals were in absolute grief. Cho Kai K had been leading their race since the sweep before. He was a spiritual leader and he helped support them for so long. He had settled all difficulties and dangers. But now that they had finally acquired the inheritance, he was gone. This is a message left behind by the master. He wanted me to pass it to you after he died. The AI of the tower said clearly. The three warriors held their breaths. Cho Kai K's voice resounded. Pui, Men Bu, La Dimo, when you hear this, I'll already be gone. Please forgive me, I've chosen to escape. The trillions of years before, living only on faith, now that we've acquired the inheritance, I'm satisfied. I'll leave everything to you all. The treasure room is already shut and they cannot get out and they cannot open the chest either. I believe they will ultimately choose to teleport via their god country. The moment they leave, you can sneak in and get that treasure chest too. This is the most perfect ending. If other invaders come, you can instantly enter the god country via the space pathway and destroy the pathway. Clean up the ends. Pui, my brother, La Dimo, Men Bu, my children, the future of the race is up to you all. Forgive me for my escape. Silence. The three couldn't help but cry. The undying survivors had all supported each other through the years, and their relationships were incredibly close, even though Cho Kai K had been their elder and leader. You didn't escape, third brother, you didn't. You were simply too tired, you needed rest. Pui muttered, beside him the other two were silent. For the race, their elder Cho Kai K had fallen, the race must rise again, we cannot let the elder's sacrifice be in vain. La Dimo howled. Men Bu nodded beside him. Look at the treasure room. The Godmaster Pui said, the treasure room and the inheritance room. The inheritance room holds techniques that our race has accumulated over countless years for our people, while the treasure room holds all sorts of valuables. As long as they teleport via God country out of the room, we can get the treasure. The other two nodded. Their eyes were gleaming as they watched the projection. Within the treasure room, the aboriginal Cho Kai K, a pinnacle emperor, had self-destructed. It took a while for the room to gradually regain its peace. Bastard, bastard, bastard. Piercing Tiger howled as he stood in the corner, his eyes were filled with madness. Purple Clock was ashen. His gaze was fixed on Gold Kang, who was in the center of the room. Gold Kang retained his cold expression. Luo Feng was like a cocoon pinned against the wall in his wings. He slowly opened his wings and gazed around. Piercing Tiger's energy had dropped to an extreme low. In comparison, Purple Clock didn't seem to have any change, and so did Gold Kang. Piercing Tiger suffered huge losses. His undying body has been damaged over 50%. Luo Feng thought. But Purple Clock isn't even injured? It's normal that Gold Kang wasn't hurt, but Purple Clock. The two enemies. Gold Kang had reached the limit of an emperor. Purple Clock was also an emperor pinnacle. He. Gold Kang laughed coldly. You sure know how to act. He turned to face Purple Clock. His voice was booming. Purple Clock, if it weren't for that aboriginal self-destructing, I wouldn't be able to see your Chi-Chang race's strength. Other than the attack you used earlier when you burned 3% of your undying energy, whether it was Night Emperor's explosion or this aboriginal's explosion, they didn't even harm you. That explosion. Gold Kang was undamaged. Luo Feng used the same terrifying defense and was left undamaged. Gold Kang had already predicted that this human had his own trump cards, hence he wasn't shocked that Luo Feng survived. Piercing Tiger had lost half his undying body. If he was damaged any further, he would fall into a coma. This was within his expectations. Only Purple Clock, he seemed to only be Pinnacle Emperor level. When Night Emperor self-destructed before, he wailed like he was injured. However, as he hid in the room, the explosion spread over a large area. Even Piercing Tiger had barely survived. Even if Purple Clock was injured, it would be hard to tell just from looking. No one thought of anything special about Purple Clock. This time was different. Cho Kai K's explosion was within this small treasure room, which was 20 m wide and 10 m tall. And it was shut. The defenses of the room made it so that the walls were totally undamaged. This also made it so that his explosion was contained within. Hence, the force of this explosion would have been terrifying. Piercing Tiger was heavily injured. If he was injured anymore, he would fall into a coma. Purple Clock, however, was undamaged. That was weird. Cackle. Purple Clock laughed. His scales contracting on his face, which looked incredibly ugly. His voice was piercing as he said, Gold Kang, there are trillions of races, and countless treasures. There are also countless dangerous areas. Would I not have any survival trump cards? When we planned it out earlier, you didn't say anything. Gold Kang looked at him. This is for my survival, there's no need to say anything. He looked down, seemingly giving in. Gold Kang snorted coldly. After which his gaze landed on the human youth and Piercing Tiger, mocking within. Piercing Tiger wasn't even worth mentioning now. As for the human with powerful defenses, his attack was average, and so he was no threat as well. Let's everybody try and open this chest. He pointed to the chest. Who'll try first? Who would dare attempt to open the chest? Gold Kang, you go first. Purple Clock said. Gold Kang walked over to the ancient chest bound by 12 chains. He tried to open it with brute force and skill. After trying everything without any result, he kicked it hard, causing the space about to crumble. You all give it a shot. I'll try. Purple Clock walked up to try. When he reached it, he turned to Luo Feng. Human, don't you want to give it a shot? No need. Luo Feng wasn't in a rush. Purple Clock tried a few times, failure. Luo Feng and Piercing Tiger went to try too, still failure. Within the control room. These invaders still want to get our treasure? What dreamers? Men Bu said angrily. The treasure is ours. La Dimo mocked. These invaders, they don't know when to give up. Look at the strongest Gold Kang, he's about to go crazy. Even so, it's useless, they still won't get the treasure. The only path they've got left is to teleport via God Country. We'll wait till they leave and we'll go grab the treasure. Puri said. The three aboriginals all watched on, waiting for when the invaders left via their God countries. After a few minutes within the room, the warriors all realized they had no way to open the chest. Maybe I can let the Mosha clansman become a Yang Ji warrior and try. Luo Feng stood in the corner and thought. However, as to whether I can deceive the chest system, I don't have a full guarantee. Whether it works or not, I cannot do it in front of others. What a waste. Gold Kang roared, his voice resounding within the room. The other warriors about mumbled, waste? Iceblade and Night Emperor did get the wealth of the 6 guides, and all of their wealth ended up in Gold Kang's hands. It should be worth at least several tens of billions of mixed elements. That was considered a waste? Greed is something all warriors have. Luo Feng couldn't help but sigh, the difference is whether one can control it or not. You three. Gold Kang roared, teleport via your God country out. Luo Feng was shocked. He was trying to make the three of them leave first? Wouldn't that reveal their god country location? Wouldn't Gold Kang be able to follow them after? With his strength, the moment he entered the enemy's god country, whether it was Piercing Tiger or Purple Clock, the god country would probably crumble. We have to leave first? Purple Clock raged, Gold Kang, you are much more powerful than us. Even if you teleport via god country, none of us would dare follow you. Hence, from what I see, we should leave according to our strengths. The strongest should go first and the weakest last. Right. Piercing Tiger roared too. I agree. Luo Feng nodded. They were very clear that they had to work together now. Within the dark treasure room, Gold Kang, who was covered in lightning, roared, anybody who betrays me will die. Even if we don't betray you, we will die too. Purple Clock's eyes gleamed with ferocity. I've already suffered heavy damage and will take countless years to recover. Gold Kang, don't push it. Piercing Tiger's eyes were filled with madness. How pitiful was he didn't even get any treasure and yet he was so heavily injured. As an emperor, he still had some pride. The long periods of time have made it so that many of them did not fear death, and choosing to self-destruct was a common thing. Luo Feng looked at Gold Kang. It was obvious that an unspoken alliance between the three weaker warriors had formed. Ah? Gold Kang's eyes gleamed with lightning. He looked curiously at the group. What guts? I've already activated my virtual world broadcast. Purple Clock gritted his teeth at Gold Kang. Everything here on out will be recorded. If you dare make a move, even similar camp allies attacking another, no one can protect you. Broadcast? Gold Kang looked mockingly at Purple Clock. This tower jams all signals and can't even be detected. You can only use the basic recording with your own vision. I've long ago warped the light around and noise travels straight into your brain. You have no way to record this. Ah. Purple Clock's expression changed. Ha ha, this tower, even the most expensive scanners are useless before it, and even God energy is useless. Although your virtual world device has some recording ability, but anything recorded and not broadcasted can easily be edited, it cannot serve as evidence at all. What's more, I control the light and sound, ha ha. Gold Kang looked madly at Purple Clock. For you to block that aboriginal's explosion and go undamaged, looks like you have some treasures on you. That human had blocked it too. Purple Clock looked over nervously. Luo Feng's expression changed when he heard him. Gold Kang looked curiously at Luo Feng. His strength cannot compare to yours, but his defenses are absurd. He must have some special techniques or something. Relax, you all, I will settle you one by one. Even though I cannot get the treasure in here, combining the wealth from the three of you, it's considered a small compensation. The three of them were all shocked. Gold Kang had revealed his true colors. Don't get too cocky. Piercing Tiger said hoarsely. Shut up. You are so heavily injured that your explosion won't even harm me in the least. Gold Kang mocked. I'm not even interested in your little wealth. I value these two more. He turned to face Luo Feng and Purple Clock. Don't force me. Purple Clock raged, flipping his hand and brandishing a black crystal. A terrifying energy rippled from it. If forced, we will all fall together. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.